Good morning. I am so happy and so delighted to introduce our next speaker, Keith Ellison. So, Congressman Keith Ellison is the former co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. He's the current deputy chair of the DNC. He is known for being one of the few to accurately predict Trump's success. Because he recognized that Trump was talking about issues that appeal to working class voters, like jobs. So when he speaks, people should listen. Most importantly, Keith Ellison is a longtime organizer inside Congress, and he's helped build the Congressional Progressive Caucus into the powerhouse that it is today. He is a fighter for our issues every single day. And today, progressives are stronger and better organized than they ever have been up on the Hill, and it is because of Keith Ellison. And so with that, I am so pleased to introduce our friend and ally, Representative Keith Ellison.
Hey, how's everybody? Good to see you guys. Good to see y'all. There's simply no way to carry America's progressive agenda forward without progressives running for and holding office. It cannot be done. It is simply essential that you are here. It is incredibly meritorious that the PCCC is holding now its second national candidate training. Great job, Adam and Stephanie. Big hand for those guys. You know, I will tell you, I'm 53 years old. I was 34 years old before I had any idea that I should trust or like politicians. I'm serious. I had 2 kids and was well into adulthood when I thought, maybe this electoral thing is important. One of the times was when I was a young lawyer. There was a horrible case of police brutality in my community, and we were trying to get the city council to pass a civilian review ordinance. And after marching and even suing, yes, I did that too, I came to the conclusion that in order to pass the ordinance, we were going to have to get 7 of the 13 Minneapolis city council members to vote for it. So now here I am having to deal with politicians. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice if some of those guys on that board were like us? I thought so. And I was right. There were some. There really, really were some. But it really, really hit me on the head hard when I met this guy named Paul Wellstone, who I want you all to watch his speeches, read what he has to offer. He is, in my view, an excellent example of what it means to be a progressive politician. Because Paul Wellstone, by the way, he wasn't perfect. Like, he voted on things sometimes the way I wouldn't have. Let's not get into a hero worship thing. And after you win, you will take some votes that you wish you had back. Just saying. But in the main, and when it really counted, Paul was awesome. And I'm telling you, Paul Wellstone one time said in 2002, when the Iraq War was looming and Bush was pushing this, and this was the answer to 9/11, and yet the country Iraq had been under a no-fly zone, 2/3 of it for 12 years. They were in an oil for food program. 500,000 kids had died from starvation, and we're saying they have weapons of mass destruction and help Osama bin Laden, and we're going to war with them. And a lot of us were like, huh? Paul Wellstone said to his staff, look, war is popular. Voting against the war is not the politically savvy move. But I'm voting no on this. And I want you all to know it's been an honor to work with you because I cannot guarantee you employment next time. But I'd rather lose an election than send America to war. He gave what I believe is one of the most stirring speeches on the House floor. And then a few days later, we were all campaigning. I was running for office for the first time. We were set to go do a door knock together, and I love this guy. I really idolized him. I shouldn't have, but I did. And we heard a plane went down. We heard that in Evelyn, Minnesota, nobody really quite knows, but they're hoping that he's okay, but they don't know. As the day wore on, we found out that we had lost him. We had lost Sheila, his wife, his daughter, much of his staff members, and the pilots. And that loss was devastating because then Norm Coleman wins the election, just flips the balance in Congress, and we're at war. And that lesson ought to teach all of us that who is in office really matters. Look, elected public officials are not fungible. I used to believe they're all fungible. It's all about the people. You just put the heat on them. Politicians see the light when they feel the heat. That is true, but it's not true in isolation. You've got to have progressive politicians united with progressive activism on the ground. You put those two things together and lots of communication, and you can end up with a progressive America from the city to the county to the state to the federal government to the courts to the legislature and to every executive office. That is what it's all about. Let me just say to you guys, I want you to look at the progressive movement that is propelling you right now as essential allies, not in just your victory, for sure that, but in your governance. After you win, make sure they are your partners. Get back to them a lot. Have regularly scheduled meetings, because I'm telling you, once you win, and you're gonna win, right? Just dealing with the stuff that comes up can suck up your whole day. That's why you got to have a clear concept of where you are going and who's going to help you get there. You got to be real clear that you're talking to people who actually have to compare whether this stick of butter is more expensive than that stick of butter. Maybe we should go to margarine. I don't know. Chicken has gone up. Maybe we have to do beans this week. You better talk to people who have those kind of choices to make, because if you lose touch with them, you've lost touch. This is essential. The most important thing is not for you to give a great stump speech, though you must be able to give a good one. The most important thing is for you to shut up and listen and listen and listen. You open up the newspaper today, it's like, oh, should the Democratic Party go left? Should it go right? Should it go center? Y'all heard this? Yeah. It should go down to the grassroots. Yeah. You're looking for a direction to go in. Go to the folks who live in Milwaukee and are paying 70% of their income in rent. They will tell you we need affordable housing policy. You go to talk to people in Louisiana who've been making $7.25 because there is no state minimum wage. There's no state minimum wage in Louisiana. She's shocked. South Carolina, same way. So how you try to put together a family of 4 on minimum wage? You go tell that person, we need jobs. I'm a politician. We need jobs. They say, yeah, we need jobs. I got 3 of them. We need good jobs, right? Good jobs. This is what you've got to listen. You've got to stay close. You've got to ask questions, and you cannot be afraid to be unpopular. And I don't want you to love these jobs. Once you win them, I want you to be ready to throw them in the garbage can the next damn day. And let me tell you why. Because there will be a lot of tough times, man. Imagine yourself a Wisconsin politician. I'm from Minnesota. Imagine yourself. So they're making a big thing. Foxconn is coming to Wisconsin. We're going to do 3,000 jobs. It's going to be awesome, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's, oh, yeah, yeah, White House, ribbon cutting. Y'all seen it? Yeah. Look it up. Oh, all we need from you and for the low, low price of giving away $3 billion in your tax base. Yes, 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 absolutely. That's what happened. And all these big companies talking about, we got jobs, we got jobs. All you got to do is give away your tax base. We just don't want to pay no taxes. I'm telling you, it's not worth the bargain 99% of the time. And you are going to be unpopular when you say, oh, Acme multinational. So what do you want for all these jobs? And how much of our tax base do we have to give to you? And why wouldn't we be better off doing a small business incubator and grow our own local businesses? I'm telling you, they're going to go to you. They're going to say, hey, we know that you're really for the people. They're going to try to put their arm around you. That's the first hint that they're about to stab you in the back. And they're going to say to you, you got to be responsible. You got to play the long game. And you know what, Councilman? I don't think me and my friends have thrown an event for you yet. Can we do an event for you? They're not, rare is it that they're going to flat out try to bribe you, although some of them will. It's way more subtle than that. We'll do an event for you. We just want to be in communication. We're not looking for you to vote any kind of way. You vote whatever way you want. But we just want to make sure that your information flow you're getting is from us. You say, no, I got to talk to Miss McGillicuddy because she knows that the Food Mart has a sale on cheese this week. She knows what rent is. She knows how much school supplies cost. And her mom is at that nursing home and she's on Medicaid, so we know that if you try to cut it, that's not going to be good for us. This is why you got to stay close to the grassroots. When people say go left, go right, they're saying tether yourself to some doctrine in the sky, some ideology. Now, believe me, I got my set of beliefs. You better believe that. But I believe first that we are representatives of the people, and if you connect yourself to them, they'll give you the answers that you need. So, as I said, and I say one more time, big ears, less mouth. Seriously. So then when you give that stump speech, you're on fire because you know what you are talking about. You have listened to the people who you hope to represent. It's so essential. Now, I also just want to tell you that you're not the most important people. Please absorb that into your pores. Politicians have a sense of, I've considered the most important people are the people, right? You're on that city council. They're about to pass a budget. You have an amendment to the city council budget that we're going to put some money into some organizers on environmental justice and going to a clean economy, renewable energy. Some folks, instead of you just yelling at your council members and shaming them, what if you told your posse, write them, talk to them, let them know this is important to you? It will be a lot easier for you to get it through. And that's what we want to do, right? So also the thing is about this is the power of story and narrative. Listening to your constituents will give you stories which you should tell. You amplify and magnify what it is they have to share with you. And when you do that, first of all, everybody loves a shout out, do they not? Speaking of shout outs, where's that lady from Minnesota who's in it? There you go. Stand up. There you go. Lindsay Port, everybody. Y'all know I got to do my Minnesota thing, right? Don't hate me for that. But what I'm saying is that, first of all, people love shout outs, right? But then the other thing is that they like is They like, even if it's not them you're talking about, they like you to talk about their situation, what they're going through. They're like, yeah, I feel her on that. She's right about that. So you do that. So you stay close. Let me tell you another thing that just being close to the people will do for you. You will hear a lot of people say, I was the first this, I was the first that, I was the first the other thing. As a person who's been the first many times, I don't give a crap about it. Not one damn bit. Don't even, who's the first Muslim? So what? If I'm the first one but the worst one, does that make any difference? I want you to break your own neck every day to serve them, to bust your tail, to get up early and stay out late. That's what I want you to do. You may be the first, and maybe when they write your story, they're always going to mention that you were the first. Barney Frank will always be thought of as the first openly gay congressman. But most of us in Congress thinks he's the smartest guy when it comes to financial services, bar none. That's better to be known for. You know what I'm saying? So you might be the first woman, awesome. Do not run on that, even if it helps you win. Because first of all, we know. We're looking right at you. We can tell. When I ran for Congress, there hadn't been anybody black ran in the Minnesota delegation before. I did not have to tell people about me being black. I'll be the first black. Yeah, we know you're black. We can see. What they needed to know, somebody said, are you going to be the first black? I said, no, I'm going to be the first, I'm going to be the environmental congressman. I'm going to be because they're halfway expecting you to push that. But you're going to surprise them because you're not. And if it brings up, don't run from it. Do not run from who you are. You know, when I ran, my opponents made sure every single person, and maybe even a few puppies and cats, knew that I was Muslim. He's Muslim. Did you know he's a Muslim? He's a Muslim. Yes, he is. He's even proud of it. You know, there's a young state legislator right now who's Lindsay's colleague. Her name is, Her name is Erin Mcquaid. Erin Mcquaid. His father's black, her mother's white, and she married her wife. And she ran in a fairly conservative white suburb of Minneapolis called Apple Valley, which is not, the People's Republic, right? It's kind of, it's a little bit on the conservative end. And she was one of the only ones to flip red to blue. And people told her, you are a lesbian and half black. How you expect to win out here? You know how she went out there? She knocked every damn door. She talked to everybody. She engaged with everybody. Now, one more thing before I wrap up. I don't want you to ever stop your campaign. Even if you don't have a bunch of money, keep your campaign going. Why? Because you're going to use it to talk about the issues that you believe in and keep your people clear on not just the policy, but the politics of what you're doing. Don't shut your campaign down. In the off year, you got to show up a little bit out there on the field. I'm not on the ballot in 2017, but let me just tell you a little bit about my campaign right now. And this is just, so there's a kid named Keon. He's 22 years old. I didn't hire him because he was 22. He was just the best guy I could find. He's sharp as a razor. And he sends me a report every single day, been sending it to me since June 1st. Here is this morning's report. And by the way, I got one for every day since June. Hey, Keith, yesterday the team made 431 attempts and spoke to 22 people, which is a 5% contact rate. The contact rate has been really low the last week because we're trying to talk to the low turnout district. Okay? But we're going to keep on knocking throughout the weekend. Folks are bringing up health care and having better pay, better jobs over and over again. We are knocking with Jeremiah, that's my kid, on Sunday and have 14 people on our team and a few volunteers too, so it should be a pretty big knock for them. Also, Peggy Flanagan, another one of your colleagues, is coming to speak to the team tomorrow. So let me just tell you what this is. First of all, I get these reports every day. The campaign goes, I'm not on the ballot. We have talked to this year over 30,000 people, right? We don't just go to the low turnout district. We go to the hardest doggone district. We go to the place where nobody's voting, and that's where we going, right? And we're going to flood it. Quick caveat, when Michael Brown was killed, I'm talking about Michael Brown from Ferguson. Yeah, when he was killed in the previous election, only 12% of the people turned out in the municipal election to vote. Very few African Americans voted, and as you know, one of the reasons that the city went up is that the police department was passing out tickets to black people at such a tremendously high rate that everybody was pissed off about the treatment they were getting. And so it wasn't just about one kid, one time, one day. It was about a collective thing that people were feeling. And because of federal divestment from cities, the city was using ticketing to finance their city services. But they couldn't do it to everybody, so they did it to some people. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a caveat. My point is, keep that campaign going. Go to the hardest place to turn out. If each one of you say to yourselves, we are going to increase our voter turnout at least 5% from one election to the next, you will make sure that your congressperson wins. They will answer your calls very fast if you do that. Your state legislators will get back with you. Your governor will get back with you. You will have a governor, a Democratic progressive governor, because they know that your district, which used to have 12% turnout, now has 25% turnout. Or used to have 25, now it has 35. Or used to have 50, and now it has 70. They will say, you want to win, you better get with council member so-and-so, because they rock the vote. You see what I'm saying? And usually in a lot of the districts progressive represent, not all, but some, if you could talk to everybody, and all of them are going to go for our side. It's just that they don't vote. Now, not everywhere. Some places you really have to target. But if you don't knock in the off year, how do you even know who to target? So you've got to go to them doors. So I want to say that. I'm about to wrap it up right now, but I want to just say this to you as I close. The history does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Your country, which I hope you love as much as I love it, is in a deeply imperiled situation. The Attorney General, who's no friend of civil rights, is being persecuted by the president who appointed him because he, in a rare show of ethics, recused himself from investigating himself. He fired the guy who's leading the FBI investigation. He's now openly attacking the person who's currently leading it. Oh, and he's attacking the press and literally delegitimating the free press. He goes around them with his Twitter, which is fine, but he also delegitimates them. So that's the free press and ethical investigations. Oh, he attacked Murkowski and threatened to take away stuff from Alaska because she wouldn't get on board. He's openly persecuting dissenters who are representing their districts and voting their districts. So he's trying to delegitimate the legislative process. Oh, and Gorsuch is an illegitimate Supreme Court justice. Everybody else has to get 60, but not him, on the promise that he's going to be a faithful little, compliant little person, whatever, right? So he undermines the legislative branch, the judicial branch, the freedom of the press. He is attacking the bedrock of the American system, which is checks and balances. And anybody who does that is really trying to set themselves up as some sort of a monarch. And this country went to war over not wanting a monarch. The only weird place you can find a king is Burger King, right? No kings. We don't like kings. We like people we elect and are accountable to us. And so you are in a rare moment in American history. Rare does this kind of thing happen. You are in an embattled situation. You may think, oh, it's not that bad. Yes, it is. This man controls the most formidable surveillance system in the world. This man controls the most formidable military in the world. He controls the most formidable police department in the world. This is not small stuff. You are stepping up to the plate at a time when things are as rough as they've ever been. And so what I want to tell you is congratulations. I want to tell you thank you. I want to tell you thank you. I want to tell you that I am exceedingly proud of you. And I want to tell you that, and I could speak for Tom Perez on this, that the Democratic National Committee is converting itself. It is going through a metamorphosis and a transformation to one end, to help you serve the people. We are getting out of the business of being a battleground state. We're going to every state and territory. We are getting out of the business of being a presidential focused party. We're going to every seat, everywhere. We want y'all running for the co-op boards. The co-op board. The one that decides the milk prices and stuff. We want you running for that, right? Prison board. You said, is that what you said? Prison board, the board of soil and conservation. I don't know, park board. Run for it. Get in there, right? And we want to train you to be as good as you can possibly be. And we are converting this party. We recognize that you can get all the data analytics and modeling you want and lose because we just done it. It's about people. It's about the relationship. The election's not the most important thing. The community is. Building a community is. And here's what I mean. If you just make it all about this is why I want you to never shut down your campaign. Because if you just go when you need another vote, you think Reverend don't know that? Oh, must be election time, Councilman. Haven't seen you in a while. You got to be able to be, hey, Reverend, we talked last week, we're talking next week. The election's coming up. Reverend will say, oh, yeah, of course. We got you. No problem. Not that she can legally endorse you, but you understand what I mean. Don't worry. As a community leader, we got your back. You know why? Because you had ours. You see what I'm saying? And how do you get somebody's back? It's not just saying, oh, we put up a stop sign here. No, it is informing them. It is inviting them. It is including them. It is asking them for stories, ideas, approaches. After you win, I would bet you only about 10% of the ideas you pass into law are ideas that originated with you. They come from the people, man. You know what I mean? So what I want to say is you are stepping into history at a critical moment. It is no small thing. It is a big deal. It is an enormous deal. And many of you, who's running for a municipal office? You are going to be the closest unit of government. You're going to be the closest unit of government to the people. People's opinion of what government is and does largely is going to be based on what you do. You are the most important person in the room. I am the least, is the federal government. But I'm a humble guy, so I do my part. But my point is, don't let anyone tell you that, hey, these federal officials, they get on TV and all that stuff, so they're the big deal. No, this is BS, man. Don't believe that for a minute. The real deal is the municipal official, but the municipal official has to be in close contact with the county, and the county got to be in close touch with the state, and the state got to be in touch with the feds. And all of us better be figuring out how to get to the constituents. And we should do it together. I want you all to have community meetings with everybody up and down the chain, so that when Ms. McGillicuddy comes to the meeting, she can talk to all of y'all. One of the big problems that we have, and this is a serious problem, and I mean it, is that we have a tendency to think of politics as a club. So, and about it being about us. So what we say is, I want to be able to talk to the progressive community, and then I'll come back and tell y'all what they said. No, you get everybody in the room talking. We're trying to get Democrats all across the board, progressives all across the board, to say, look, you can get a third of the pie, but it's only this big. Or you can get a big-ass pie, but your slice is going to be this big. You got more pie this way. You understand what I mean? So this is the kind of thinking we must inculcate in our people, so that we're ever expanding, we're always including, we're trying to bring more people in every chance we get. This is the way that we win. Now, if you do that, somebody's going to clown. Somebody you let into the door, you're going to say, man, I knew you didn't know how to act. I knew I couldn't. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to grandstand. But you know what? Don't worry about that. You keep on expanding. Have faith in the idea that teamwork makes the dream work. Let's say it again. Teamwork makes the dream work. One more time. Teamwork makes the dream work. Last time. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, you guys, get out there and make this country all it ever hoped to be. Thank you all very much.